As night falls and the world quiets, let us drift into a realm where colors dance and magic breathes. Imagine yourself in a tranquil forest, painted with every shade of red from the softest pink to the deepest burgundy, each whispering stories of old. Breathe deeply, inhaling peace, exhaling the day's weight. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper into relaxation, embraced by the night's serene lullaby. Now our journey with Princess Elara through the Crimson Forest, guided by the ancient wisdom of the whispering trees. Their gentle murmurs invite you into a world beyond, filled with beauty and mystery, and the soft glow of forgotten colors. Let this vision guide you to the edge of sleep, where dreams await, vibrant and vivid. Close your eyes, let go, and allow the story to unfold in the quiet sanctuary of your mind. Sleep gently, embraced by the whispers of the forest and the promise of adventures in dreamland. Good night. Chapter 3. The Crimson Forest's Secret. As the azure lagoon's puzzle solved, Elara, accompanied by Vermilion, the embodiment of all things red, set out for her next challenge, the Crimson Forest. As they journeyed, the landscape gradually shifted from the soothing blues of the lagoon into the vibrant, warm hues of red. The forest was a marvel, with trees ranging from soft pinks to deep burgundies, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. Upon entering the forest, Elara was enveloped in a world where every shade of red was alive. The ground was carpeted with scarlet leaves, and the air was fragrant with the sweet scent of crimson flowers. The sun filtered through the canopy, casting the forest in a perpetual sunset glow. Vermilion explained that the forest held a secret, a lost hue of red that was essential for the balance of their world. This shade was the key to completing the grand canvas, but it had been lost to time and memory. Elara's task was to rediscover this lost hue and restore it to its rightful place. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Elara noticed that the reds around her were not just colors but expressions of emotions. From the passionate, fiery reds to the gentle, nurturing pinks, each shade told a story of feeling and experience. The forest seemed to be guiding them, with paths opening and closing as if inviting them to explore its secrets. The deeper they went, the more Elara felt a connection to the forest, a sense of understanding and empathy for the world of reds. As Elara and Vermilion delved deeper into the Crimson Forest, they came across an ancient grove where the oldest trees of the forest resided. These trees were colossal, their trunks wide and leaves a deep, resonant weaving. The maiden informed Elara that these were the whispering trees, that they be the wisest beings in the forest. The air around the whispering trees hummed with a palpable energy. As they approached, Elara could hear faint whispers, like soft murmurs carried on the wind. These whispers were the voices of the trees, communicating in a language older than time. She listened closely, and gradually the whispers became clearer, forming words she could understand. The trees spoke of the history of the forest, of seasons and cycles of joy and sorrow. They told tales of the lost hue of red, a color so profound and vital that its absence had left a void in the heart of the forest. This hue, they revealed, was not simply a color, but an embodiment of the deepest emotions: love, sacrifice, and courage. The whispering trees posed a challenge to Elara. To find the lost hue, she must understand the essence of these emotions, for the color she sought was a reflection of the heart. They urged her to look beyond the surface, to feel the pulse of the forest, and to let her heart guide her. Elara thanked the whispering trees for their wisdom. With a new understanding, she felt a sense of clarity and purpose. She knew now that her quest was not just about restoring a color, but about reconnecting with the emotions that gave life to the art. Guided by the wisdom of the trees and driven by a newfound, Elara and Vermilion continued their journey through the forest, the whispers of the trees echoing in their hearts. Empowered by the wisdom of the whispering trees, Elara ventured deeper into the heart of the Crimson Forest with a heightened sense of awareness. She began to see the forest not just as a collection of trees and plants, but as an intricate tapestry of life, each thread a different shade of red, each carrying its own story. As they walked, Vermilion pointed out subtle clues of pattern in the way leaves fell, a particular arrangement of branches, a sequence of bird calls. These clues, seemingly inconsequential, held the secrets to finding the lost hue of red. Alara realized that the forest was alive with messages and signs, guiding her towards her goal. The journey led them to a secluded part of the forest, where the air was thick with an aura of mystery. Here, the reds were deeper and more intense, tinged with shadows and whispers of forgotten tales. In this part of the forest, time seemed to stand still, and every step felt laden with significance. It was here, and clearly illuminated by shafts of sunlight filtering through the canopy, that Akara sensed the presence of the lost. The air vibrated with unseen energy, a color waiting to be discovered. She closed her eyes, reaching out with her senses, tuning into the emotional resonance of the forest. In her mind's eye, she saw the color, a reed so profound that it encompassed all the facets of the heart's deepest emotions. It was the reed of a rose in full bloom, the red of a setting sun, the reed of a heart beating with love and courage. It was a color that could only be seen with the heart, not the eyes. With a gentle touch, guided by intuition, Alara reached out to the space where the color resonated. As her hand moved through the air, the lost true materialized, radiant, glowing red that seemed to pulsate with life. She had found the lost hue of mead, a color forgotten by time, an hour born through her understanding and empathy. With the rediscovered hue of red rattled in her hands, Alara felt a surge of accomplishment. However, her triumph was short-lived as the forest air suddenly shimmered, and a new figure appeared. This was the Scarlet Sprite, the guardian of the Crimson Forest's deepest secrets and heaths. The sprite was a creature of ethereal beauty, its form flickering like a flame, embodying the fiercest and most passionate aspects of red. It approached Alara, its eyes gleaming with a challenge. You have found the lost hue, but understanding its color is only the beginning. To take it from the forest, you must prove your worth through the trial of passion and sacrifice. The trial, as the Scarlet Sprite explained, was a test of emotional strength. Alara was to use the rediscovered reed to paint a scene on an ancient canvas that the sprite presented. However, the scene must encapsulate the essence of true sacrifice and love, the core elements of the deepest reds. Alara accepted the challenge with determination. She began to paint, channeling all her emotions and experiences into the canvas. The scene that emerged was a poignant depiction of a mother bird protecting her nestlings during a storm. The reds in the painting were vibrant and alive, each brushstroke a testament to love's enduring strength and the sacrifices made in its name. As Alara painted, the sprite watched intently, its expression changing from scrutiny to admiration. The forest itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the outcome. Then Alara placed her final stroke. A hush fell over the clearing. The Scarlet Sprite stepped forward, examining the painting closely. After a moment, it nodded in approval. You have indeed understood the heart of red, it declared. Your painting captures the essence of what it means to love and to sacrifice. You are war. With the Sprite's blessing, the hue of red solidified in Alara's hands. Its glow warmer and more radiant than before. The sprite faded away, leaving Alara and Vermilion alone in the clearing, a painting a vivid reminder of the trial and its profound message. After the encounter with the Scarlet Sprite, Alara and Vermilion ventured further into the forest, guided by an unseen force towards the final part of their quest in the Crimson Forest. The deeper they traveled, the more the forest seemed to change, the reds around them deepening into shades that whispered of ancient mysteries and untold stories. Eventually, they came upon a hidden clearing, a place that seemed untouched by time. The air was still, and the light that filtered through the trees cast the clearing in a serene, almost sacred glow. In the center of the clearing stood the ancient tree, its bark a deep maroon, and its leaves a tapestry of reds, from the brightest scarlet to the darkest burgundy. Memonian explained that this tree was the heart of the Crimson Forest, the source of all the reds in the forest. It was here that the final secret of the forest was to be revealed, the key to completing Velon's task and restoring the balance of Reed in their world. Elora approached the tree with reverence. Feeling its ancient energy pulsating through the air, she placed her hand on the bark, and images flooded her mind, visions of the forest through the ages, the cycles of life and death, and the endless dance of creation and decay. She saw the forest in all its moods, from the gentle blush of spring to the fiery blaze of autumn. In these visions, Elara found the final piece of the puzzle. The secret of the Crimson Forest was not just in a single hue thread, but in the harmony of all its shades. It was the story of life itself, a constant flux of beauty and loss, each moment a precious part of the whole. With this understanding, Elara used the hue she had found, along with the inspiration from art of the forest, to create a final piece on the ancient tree's bark. Her creation was a tribute to the forest, a depiction of its life and soul, capturing the essence of every shade of reed. As she completed her work, the clearing lit up with a radiant glow, the trees' leaves shimmering in response to her art. The balance of her red was restored, and the forest sighed in relief, its colors now vibrant and alive with renewed energy. In the aftermath of her artistic creation, a profound change swept through the Crimson Forest. The colors, now fully restored and balanced, seemed to sing in harmony, a chorus of reds that celebrated the renewal of their essence. The forest itself appeared rejuvenated, its energy vibrant and alive. Vermilion, witnessing the transformation, turned to Elara with a look of deep respect and gratitude. "You have done more than restore a hue. You have unraveled the secret of our forest. You have understood that the essence of color lies in its connection to life itself." Elara, absorbing the words of Vermilion, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The challenge of the Crimson Forest had taught her about the complexity and depth of color, about its ties to emotion and life. She had not only found a lost hue, but had also connected with the soul of the forest. As they prepared to leave the clearing, the heart of the forest, the ancient tree where Elara had created her final piece, bestowed a gift upon her. A single leaf, glowing with all the shades of red in the forest, detached itself and floated gently in Elara's hand. "This leaf is a symbol of your understanding, and a reminder of the bond you have formed with our forest," said Vermilion. Holding the leaf, Elara felt a surge of energy. It was as if the forest itself had imparted a part of its essence to her, a token of its trust and a source of strength for the challenges to come. With the secret of the Crimson Forest revealed, and its balance restored, Elara and Vermilion left the clearing, the forest bidding them farewell with a gentle rustling of leaves and a soft, crimson glow. The journey through the forest had ended, but Elara's quest to save the world of living colors continued, with new insights and a renewed determination to face the challenges ahead. Chapter 4. The Golden Dunes, Nigma. Leaving the lush vibrancy of the Crimson Forest behind, accompanied by Ochre, the embodiment of all things yellow, began a journey towards the Golden Dunes. As they traveled, the landscape around them transformed dramatically. The dense, colorful foliage of the forest gave way to open skies and an expansive desert. The dunes stretched as far as the eye could see, their sands glistening like gold under the sun. The Golden Dunes were a place of fever, conjuring beauty, shaped by the whims of the wind. The sands shifted constantly, creating an ever-evolving landscape that was both mesmerizing and disorienting. The dunes seemed to have a life of their own, whispering secrets of the ages as they moved. Ochre explained that within the heart of the dunes lay a puzzle, a riddle that had perplexed even the wisest of color beings. The missing yellow pigment, essential to the balance of their world, was hidden somewhere within these golden sands. However, finding it was not a matter of simply searching. It required understanding the nature of the dunes and the secrets they held. Elara felt a sense of awe as she gazed upon the vastness of the desert. The challenge before her was daunting, but she was determined to uncover the enigma of the golden domes. With Ochre as her guide, she began her trek into the heart of the desert, her senses alert to the subtle cues and whispers of the shifting sands. The journey was arduous, the sun relentless, and the sands ever-nudging, but Ara was undeterred. Her resolve strengthened by the challenges she had already overcome. She knew that the key to finding the missing pigment lay in unraveling the mystery of the dunes, in understanding their language and the stories they told. As Elara and Ochre ventured deeper into the heart of the golden dunes, the desert revealed its mesmerizing beauty and deceptive nature. The sun blazed in the sky, turning the sand into a sea of sparkling gold. It was in this harsh yet enchanting environment that Amara encountered her first true test, the mirage of gold. The mirage appeared suddenly, a vision of an oasis with lush greenery and cool, inviting waters, seemingly a haven in the midst of the scorching desert. However, Ochre warned Elara that this was no ordinary oasis. It was a mirage common to the desert, but within it lay a clue to the lost yellow pigment. Approaching the mirage with caution, Elara observed its details. The more she focused, the more the mirage began to shift, its images changing, revealing hidden layers. She realized that this mirage was not a mere illusion, but a puzzle, a riddle crafted in sand and light. Through keen observation, Elara discerned a pattern in the mirage. The images, it showed a golden sun, a blooming yellow flower, a bird with golden feathers, each symbolized an aspect of the color yellow: warmth, life, and freedom. These symbols, she understood, were guiding her towards the pigment. Taking inspiration from the mirage, Elara sketched the symbols in the sand, her drawings mirroring the images. As she completed the last symbol, the mirage shimmered and transformed, revealing the path that had been hidden by the undulating dune. Elara and Ochre followed this new path, now one step closer to uncovering the secret of the lost yellow pigment. The mirage of gold had tested Elara's perception and understanding of the desert, and she had emerged with a deeper connection to the color yellow and its myriad meanings. Guided by the path revealed by the mirage of gold, Elara and Ochre journeyed further into the depths of the golden dunes. The sun beat down upon them, its rays intensifying the golden hue of the sands. Elara noticed that the deeper they went, the more the sands seemed to sparkle with a unique vibrancy, as if imbued with a life of their own. As they traversed this glittering expanse, Ochre explained that the yellow pigment they were seeking was not a mere color, but an essence that captured the very spirit of the desert. It was the embodiment of the sun's warmth, the joy of a blooming desert flower, and the freedom of the open sands. This pigment was crucial for maintaining the vibrancy and balance of their world, and without it, all colors would eventually fade. The journey led them to a secluded dune, taller and more majestic than the rest. At its peak, the sand glowed with an intense, radiant light. It was here Ochre revealed that the lost yellow pigment could be found. Elara climbed to the top of the dune, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she reached the summit, the sand beneath her feet began to shift, revealing a hidden cavity. Inside, she found the pigment, a dazzling yellow so pure and vivid that it seemed to capture the very essence of the sun itself. But as Elara reached out to touch it, the pigment began to fade, its light dimming. Ochre cautioned that the pigment was sensitive to intention and could only be obtained by one who truly understood and respected its nature. The journey led them to a secluded dune, taller and more majestic than the rest. At its peak, the sand glowed with an intense, radiant light. It was Hirogaru revealed that the lost yellow pigment could be found. Alara climbed to the top of the dune, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she reached the summit, the sand beneath her feet began to shift, revealing a hidden cavity. Inside, she found the pigment, a dazzling yellow so pure and vivid that it seemed to capture the very essence of the sun itself. But as Alara reached out to touch it, the pigment began to fade, its light dimming. Oko cautioned that the pigment was sensitive to intention and could only be obtained by one who truly understood and respected its nature. Alara closed her eyes, taking a moment to reflect on her journey through the dunes, the lessons of the mirage, and the spirit of the desert. She reached out again, this time with a sense of deep reverence for the desert and its gifts. As your fingers touched the pigment, it responded to her touch, glowing warmly, its white steady and strong. Alara had found the lost yellow pigment, not just with her hands, but with her heart. With the lost yellow pigment now in her possession, Alara felt a sense of achievement, but a journey in the golden dunes was far from over. As she descended the dune, a figure emerged from the swirling sands ahead. It was a sphinx, majestic and imposing, with the body of a lion and the head of a woman, her eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. The sphinx spoke, her voice echoing across the dunes. You have found the pigment, but its power will only be granted to one who can unravel the riddle of the sun. The riddle she posed was a test of Alara's understanding of the essence of self. Born from the heart of a star, I am the dishadowed light that give warmth to the cold, bring brightness to night. What am I? The Sphinx asked. Alara pondered the riddle. It spoke of light and warmth of day and night. The answer seemed simple, yet she knew the Sphinx's riddle would lay us beyond the obvious. She thought about the sun, its role in giving life, its presence even in darkness through the moon's reflection and the stars at night. With a deep breath, Alara answered, You are the sun, the source of all light and life. You bring warmth to the day and guide us through the night, even when unseen. The presence is felt in every ray of sunshine, and in the glow of the moon and stars, reflections of light. His Sphinx's eyes softened, as she nodded in approval. You've seen beyond the surface, understanding the deeper truth of the sun and its colors. The pigment is yours to wield, for you have proven your wisdom and respect for its power. The Sphinx vanished into the sands, leaving Alara with a newfound appreciation for the complexities of yellow, the color of the sun. With the riddle solved and the pigment secured, Alara felt one step closer to completing her mission to restore balance to the world of living colors. Having successfully answered the Sphinx's riddle, Alara and Edgar continued their journey through the Golden Dunes. The day was drawing to a close, and the setting sun cast a breathtaking array of colors across the sky, transforming the dunes into a canvas of gold, orange, and mermaid. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Oker guided Alara to a specific spot in the dunes, known as the Sun's Cradle. This was a sacred place where, according to legend, the sun rested each night before resuming its journey across the sky. The air here was charged with energy, and the sands glowed with a warm golden light. Oker explained that the Sun's Cradle was the source of a special gift, a final element needed to harness the full potential of the yellow pigment. This gift was the sun's essence, a concentrated form of sunlight that would imbue the pigment with the sun's life-giving energy. As the sun touched the horizon, the sands began to shimmer. A radiant orb of light emerged from the ground. That was the sun's essence, a glowing sphere that pulsed with the heart of the desert. Alara reached out to it, and as her hands touched the orb, a surge of warmth and light flowed through her. The essence merged with the pigment, enhancing its luminosity and vitality. The combination of the pigment and the sun's essence created a perfect harmony, capturing the true essence of yellow in its this vibrant and life-affirming form. Elara stood in awe, holding the merged pigment and essence, feeling as if she held a piece of the sun itself. The sun's gift was not just a physical object, but a symbol of the power and beauty of light, of the joy and warmth it brings to the world. With this gift, Elara knew she was ready to complete the final challenge of the Golden Dunes, restore the balance of yellow to the grand canvas. With the sun's essence fused with the yellow pigment, Elara felt a profound connection to the color, understanding its essence like never before. The final task in the Golden Dunes was to use this enriched pigment to solve the Golden Enigma, a puzzle that would restore the balance of yellow in the world of living colors. As night fell, Ochre led Elara to a secluded area in the heart of the dunes, where stood a solitary, ancient obelisk. Carved into its surface were intricate symbols and hieroglyphs, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Ochre explained that these carvings were the key to the Golden Enigma, a rule that had been etched into the stone by the ancients. Elara studied the carvings closely, tracing the lines with her fingers. The symbols spoke of the sun's journey across the sky, the cycle of day and night, and an interplay of light and shadow. To solve the enigma, she needed to paint a mural on the obelisk that captured the true spirit of yellow, integrating the symbols into her art. With the moon casting its soft light over the dunes, Elara began to paint. Each stroke was deliberate, imbued with the warmth and energy of the sun. She wove the symbols into her mural, creating a scene that depicted the dunes at sunrise, the moment when the first rays of light touched the sands, turning them into gold. As she eyed the final touches, the obelisk began to radiate light, the symbols pulsating with a golden glow. The air around the obelisk shimmered, and a wave of energy swept across the dunes. The sands themselves seemed to come alive, reflecting the miles light, mirroring the sunrise she had painted. The golden enigma was solved. The balance of yellow was restored, not just in the pigment, but in the very heart of the dunes. The desert celebrated this restoration, the sands singing with color and life. Elara stepped back, her heart full of joy and wonder. She'd unlocked the secrets of the Golden Dunes, and in doing so, had deepened her understanding of the color yellow and its connection to light, life, and joy. With Ochre by her side, she looked towards the horizon, ready for the next chapter in a journey to save the world of living colors. Chapter 5 of the Palette of Destiny, with the challenges of the Azure Lagoon, the Crimson Forest, and the Golden Dunes behind her. Alana, accompanied by a congregation of pigment creatures, approached the final phase of her journey. They gathered in a mystical clearing where the air shimmered with the anticipation of a momentous event. This was the site of the final gathering, where the Palette of Destiny awaited. The Palette of Destiny was an ancient artifact, a canvas of unimaginable power that held the key to restoring balance to the world of living colors. It was said that only an artist with a true understanding of color and its connection to the heart and soul of the world could wield the palette. As Elara stepped forward, the pigment creatures formed a circle around her, each radiating their respective hues. The palette lay in the center of the circle, glowing with an ethereal light. It was a breathtaking sight, the colors swirling within it, alive and pulsating with energy. Ochre, azure, vermeer, and the others watched in silence as Elara approached the palette. She could feel the weight of her responsibility, the culmination of her journey, and the hopes of all the colors resting on her shoulders. With a deep breath, Elara raised her brush, dipped it into the palette, and began to paint. The brush moved with a life of its own, guided by the knowledge and experiences Elara had gathered throughout her journey. Each stroke was a harmony of colors, a blend of the essence she restored. The being that emerged on the palette was a representation of the world of living colors, a landscape where every hue had its place, balanced and vibrant. It was a testament to the beauty of diversity and harmony, a reflection of the eternal and the deadness of all things. As she painted, the clearing lit up with a brilliant light, the colors from the palette radiating out into the world, restoring vibrancy and balance to the land. The pigment creatures cheered, their colors shining brighter than ever before. The Tumara had completed her task. She had used the palette of destiny to bring back the harmony of colors, saving their world from fading into monochrome. As the light from the palette of destiny infused the world with color, Alcara felt a profound connection to the universe of who she had helped save. The palette, now resonating with the power of her creation, held a deeper significance. It was not just a tool for painting, it was a symbol of unity, blending the essence of all colors into a harmonious whole. The pigment creatures, embodying their respective colors, gathered closer to observe the palette. Each marveled at how their essence was represented within the artwork, perfectly balanced and contributing to the overall beauty of the piece. The palette of destiny had become a mirror of their world, a visual representation of the balance and harmony that Alara had restored. Ochre spoke first, its voice filled with emotion. Through this palette, you have shown us the true power of unity and balance. You have painted not just a picture, but the soul of our world. Azure added Rada's bridge the gaps between colors, showing us that each hue, no matter how different, is vital to the whole. They taught us the value of effort given. For Yoyan, with his fiery glow, said, "When your strokes, we saw the passion and love for our world, a commitment to preserving its beauty and vibrancy. You became a part of our world, a guardian of its the scholars." As Ilara listened to their words, she realized that the palette of destiny had also transformed her. She was no longer just an artist. She had become a custodian of colors, a bridge between the world of living colors and her own. The palette had bestowed upon her a deep understanding of the intertwinedness of all life and the importance of balance and harmony. With the task complete, the palette of destiny slowly dimmed, slight ebbing away as its purpose was fulfilled. The pigment creatures knew that it was time for Alara to return to her world, but she would always be a part of theirs, a savior who had restored the vibrancy of life through her art. In the wake of using the palette of destiny, Alara stood back to appreciate the culmination of her journey, her ultimate creation. This was not just a painting on a canvas, it was a living, breathing representation of the world she had come to know and love. Every color vibrated with life, each hue telling its own story, all coming together in harmonious symphony. The artwork she had created was a testament to her journey, a blend of every challenge she had faced, every puzzle she had solved, and every understanding she had gained about the colors in their world. The painting depicted a landscape where the azure lagoon, the crimson forest, and the golden dunes coexisted, connected by flowing rivers of color. Under a sky that was a canvas in itself, changing hues with the passage of time. As the pigment creatures gathered around the creation, they were moved by its beauty and depth. The painting was a mirror to their souls, a reflection of their essence. It was a reminder of the journey they had all undertaken with Iklara, a journey of discovery, challenge, and growth. The artwork also had a profound effect on Alara. She realized that this was her life's greatest work, a creation that transcended the ordinary. It was an artwork that had changed the world, saved it from fading away into obscurity. She had not only restored balance to the world of living colors, but had also found her true calling as an artist, one whose work could touch hearts and change destinies. As she stood there, surrounded by the creatures in her creation, a sense of accomplishment filled her heart. She had achieved what she had set out to do, but in the process, she had also evolved, grown, and discovered her true potential as an artist and a guardian of colors. This ultimate creation was more than just a painting. It was a legacy, a piece of Alara that would remain in the world of living colors forever. long after she returned to her own world. As Clara and the pigment creatures reveled in the triumph of her ultimate creation, a sudden chill permeated the air. The vibrant colors around them began to dim, and a sense of foreboding filled the once joyous clearing. From the shadows emerged a new, ominous presence, the void. The void was the antithesis of color in life, a force of emptiness and desolation. It manifested as a swirling, dark mist, creeping towards the clearing, threatening to engulf everything in its path. The pigment creatures recoiled in fear, the colors fading in the presence of this dark entity. Ogre, with a voice tinged with urgency, explained that the void was a natural counterforce to the world of color, balanced to their vibrancy. However, it had grown too powerful, feeding on the lack of harmony that had plagued their world. Now, with the restoration of balance, the void sought to annihilate the source of disharmony, Alara's creation. Alara realized that her journey was not yet over. The palette of destiny had restored the colors, but now she faced a greater challenge of protecting this world from the encroaching void. The ultimate test of her journey was not just in creation, but in defending her creation against the forces of destruction. Gathering her resolve, Alara stepped forward, brush in hand. The pigment creatures, inspired by her courage, rallied around her, their colors gleaming defiantly against the dark. Together, they prepared to face the void, to protect the world they had all fought so hard to save. The air crackled with energy as the void drew nearer, its darkness contrasting sharply with the radiant colors of Alara's painting. The battle for the soul of the world of living colors had begun. The confrontation with the void reached its zenith as Alara, armed with her brush, who a palette of destiny, stood at the forefront, flanked by the pigment creatures. The clearing, once a place of harmony and color, had become the battleground for the final standoff between light and darkness. The void, a swirling maelstrom of darkness, advanced steadily, its formless mass seemingly impervious to the colors that surrounded it. Its presence threatened to erase not just the colors, but the very essence of life and creativity that Alara had worked so hard to preserve. Determined to protect her creation, in a world of living colors, Clara raised her brush, which glowed with the combined power of all the colors she had restored. The pigment creatures lent their strength, their colors merging into a radiant beacon against the encroaching darkness. In a bold move, Alara swept her brush across the void, her strokes cutting through the darkness. Each stroke was infused with the essence of the colors, the tranquility of blue, the passion of reed, the warmth of yellow, and all the hues in between. The colors collided with the void, and for a moment the clearing was engulfed in a blinding light. The battle raged, a dance of light and shadow, as Alara and the pigment creatures fought to push back the void. The darkness wreathed and twisted, fighting against the onslaught of colors. But slowly, it began to recede, its form diminishing under the relentless barrage of light and vibrancy. Finally, with a last desperate effort, Alara thrust her brush into the heart of the void. There was a moment of intense silence, and then the darkness shattered like glass, its fragments dissipating into nothingness. The threat of the void was no more. The world of living colors was safe, its vibrancy restored and protected. The pigment creatures cheered, their colors shining brighter than ever, a celebration of their victory and survival. Alara, exhausted but triumphant, knew that her journey had reached its end. She had not only restored balance to the world of colors, but had also defended it against its greatest threat. But the void vanquished, the world of living colors once again basked in peace and harmony. The pigment creatures gathered around Alara, expressing their deepest gratitude for her bravery and artistry. It was time for Alara to return to her own world, her mission fulfilled. The clearing where the palette of destiny had once glowed with the vibrancy of 1,000 colors, a portal began to materialize, assuming the same ethereal light as the canvas that had brought Alara to this extraordinary world. The portal was her passage back to reality, a gateway bridging her world and the world she had saved. The pigment creatures, each a vibrant embodiment of their respective hue, came forward to bid farewell. They each imparted a gift of color and not physical objects, but blessings and wisdom, the essence of the colors that she could carry with her. Azure granted her tranquility and depth of thought. Vermilion offered passion and the courage to express her emotions. Ochre bestowed warmth and the ability to bring joy through her heart. Each creature added to this tapestry of blessings, enriching Elara's soul with a spectrum of qualities. As she prepared to step through the portal, Elara looked back at the world she had come to know and love. She realized that while she was leaving this room, its colors and lessons would forever be a part of her. Her art, her perceptions, and her very being had been irrevocably changed by this journey. With a final wave erase, Elara stepped through the portal. The light enveloped her, and the world of living colors faded away, leaving behind a legacy that would continue to live in her art and in the hearts of the creatures she had saved. Elara emerged from the portal back into her studio, the familiar surroundings greeting her like an old friend. For a moment she stood there, disoriented, as the memories of her incredible journey in the world of living colors flooded her mind. The canvases on her walls, her paintbrushes, and the unfinished artworks scattered around everything seemed both familiar and new. She glanced at the canvas that had started it all, the one that had opened the portal to the vibrant world she had just left. It was no longer glowing, but now it bore the masterpiece she had created with the palette of destiny, a vivid landscape filled with a harmony of color she had restored. The painting was a tangible reminder of her journey, a bridge between her old world and the one she had saved. Elara felt a profound change within her. The journey had not just been about saving a world of colors. It had been a journey of self-discovery and growth. She had faced challenges, solved puzzles, and fought against the darkness. She had learned the true essence of colors, not just as hues on a palette, but as bearers of emotion and life. As she picked up her brush and approached a new canvas, Elara felt a surge of inspiration. Her style, her approach to art was forever changed. She painted with a newfound passion, infusing her art with the lessons she had learned from the pigment creatures, a landscape she had traversed, and the emotions she had experienced. Word of her unique and vibrant artworks began to spread, drawing attention from art enthusiasts and critics alike. Elara's studio, once a haven for her unfulfilled dreams, became a gallery of wondrous creations, each piece telling a story of her journey to a world where colors lived and breathed. Elara often looked back on her journey to the world of living colors, grateful for the adventure and the lessons that imparted. In her heart, she knew she would always be connected to that magical realm, a guardian of its colors, called bridge between worlds. Our journey had taught her that true art transcends the canvas, but is a window to worlds unseen, a dance of light and shadow, and a story told in the language of colors. Elara's art testament to that, a celebration of the world she had saved, and the artist she had become.